All right, folks, welcome back. We are still talking about ways that you can be generous here in Cherokee County. This is Spiritual Formation for the Family. This is our last week talking about generosity, and we're talking about best practices. You've already heard from a couple of other organizations in Jacksonville and Cherokee County. And today, we have one of our very own, Rhonda Edwards, wife of Steve Edwards, or should we say that Steve is husband of Rhonda?
Either way.
You know what? We'll go the other way. We'll go the second way. I like that better. Steve, he's about to celebrate 30 years.
Yes, he is.
That's crazy. What all roles has he done? He's done education. He's now doing administration, missions, and senior adults. Mm-hmm. So he's had a lot of roles, and you've been there with him every step of the way.
Yep, it's been fun.
I hope so. I hope so. I heard that the last 11 years has been especially fun and good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Dealing with other people.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, 11 years ago I got here. I don't know if you were aware of that. I figured that was the best time of your life, but
there you go.
Whatever, this interview's over. Just kidding. No, Rhonda, you have an important role at Living Alternatives here in Jacksonville. So basically, let's just start off with you telling us, number one, what is Living Alternatives? So what's the mission and what is your role there? And then we can kind of go from there.
Okay. Well, it's been in existence almost 30 years.
Wow.
So,
have you started with it the whole time?
No.
Okay.
No. That would be a good thought there, though, since we've been here almost 30 years.
That's right.
But no, it originally started for women to learn that there were alternatives to abortion. That was the heart behind.
Oh, okay.
That was the heart behind the ministry. And as that's played out, that is still our main priority. However, there's a lot of other things that we like to do. That babies are expensive, and so we just want to kind of help relieve some stress, because a lot of times when somebody is, especially in an unwanted pregnancy, that just adds another stress,
right.
For them to know, how am I going to afford this baby? And we just want to be able to kind of help, in that way. There's a lot of women that don't really have a good family support system or friends, a sense of community, and we want to be able to be that for them. And so what we like to do is walk with them through their pregnancy and through the first 3 years of their children's lives. And as we do that, we get to know them really well.
Can you hit pause real quick?
Okay.
Because there's something, like you just said, that I didn't know that y'all did the first 3 years of the baby's life. One of the major critiques of pro-life groups, organizations, states that I hear, at least, and you can tell me if you hear the same thing. People come in and they say, "Hey, you only care about the unborn. You don't do anything to help after they're born." Exactly. And you're sitting here saying, "No, like y'all have for the last 30 years had the care for the unborn, the care for the mom, and the care for the child after they come into this world."
Yes,
that is really cool.
Yeah,
3 years.
Yeah.
What is 3 years? Is there a reason, like, for the 3 years? Like, is there? So, yeah.
I think the biggest reason is those first 3 years. Psychologists will tell you that those are the 3 most critical years in a child's growth and everything. And then I think the second thing is because of a lot of our funding is the first 3 years.
Yeah.
So we do get donations, but that doesn't help us completely. We wouldn't probably be able to keep our doors open if we just went by donations alone. Okay. So we do have some funding that's through a provider. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So that there's like some science behind that. Like, hey, if we can help this mother and this child for the first 3 years.
Yes.
So this isn't just some arbitrary number.
Correct.
Somebody wasn't like, "Oh, 3, that's the number of the Trinity. Here we go." And like,
right.
Well, cool. All right.
Yeah.
Cool deal. Yeah. So what is your role with Living Alternatives?
Well, I'm the director, and that's something that's kind of evolved because of the lady that was there before. She stepped down, and so I can't even tell you how long I've been in the role. Maybe 6, 7, 8 years. I don't remember. But so I'm the director, and so. I'm also one of the counselors, and I really love the counseling more so than the director part. But
when you say counseling, you're talking about a pregnant woman comes in and just
a pregnant woman or a biological parent. Can be. We serve men too, so they'll come in, and we're not like licensed counselors, but we're certified through the state to do the type of counseling that we do, and that's often with a curriculum or video that type of thing. Like if they're needing I need help potty training, or I'm needing help, bonding with my child, or whatever it is, then we've got curriculum and videos that we show.
That's really cool.
And walk with them through those issues.
Man, I say this, like you're sitting here telling me that, I'm like, yeah, here my wife and I we have this outstanding community around us. We both come from homes where, we don't know divorce in our family. And, we have the kind of resources to go out and get education and training and stuff. And just even the things that you're talking about, it's hard for us. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at our own parenting. I'm like, man, we needed help with the potty training. We needed help with the bonding and all that stuff.
And a lot of people feel like you have to be low income to be a client of ours, and that's not true at all. Okay. And I feel like, anybody can learn anything. You can learn something from the classes that we offer. And we've got them on toddler type things, like the potty training, and we've got it on nutrition and everything. But we've even got some that are really good about creating honesty, creating kindness, creating courage. Helping children deal with change.
Is there a religious undertone to this instruction, or do you kind of have to keep it vanilla?
We keep it vanilla. Okay. But the principles are still there.
Yeah. Well, obviously as Christians, we believe that all truth comes from God.
Yes.
So I completely understand what you're saying there, and I understand where there's probably some legal things and stuff like that get played into there.
Right.
Well, very cool. Okay, so let's kind of transition here. So that's what Living Alternatives does. So let me just make sure that I'm hearing you correctly. Okay. Living Alternatives is a group that helps moms primarily that are in pregnancy, and it sounds like a lot of these moms are maybe in an unwanted pregnancy. I
would say a lot, but there's quite a few that are even married and they wanted to have a baby, and maybe it's their first pregnancy and they just don't really know much about pregnancy and parenting, and so they'll come in, and you would be surprised. Here I am, 64 years old, and I learn things from these videos all the time. It's things that, you just can always learn something. And as long as you have that mentality that I know it all, I've already got 7 kids, you can learn something, so.
Well, I don't have 7 kids, we have 3, but I promise you, if we were to have a 4th, we'd just be like, what is going, like every time, with every kid, there's different challenges.
Yes.
So y'all don't just help, like as you were saying, you don't help underprivileged moms, or you don't just help moms with unwanted pregnancy. You just help moms.
Yes.
That's cool. Okay, so you help moms in the pre-birth stage, and then 3 years after the baby is born.
Correct.
Very cool. So with that help, you have the counseling. Is there any kind of financial help that y'all provide, or maybe like in giving of diapers, food, stuff like that?
That's one of the main things that we do, because people, we do live in a community where, people are having financial difficulties, I
heard a stat this week. This is crazy. In the school district in Jacksonville, is right at 90% economically disadvantaged.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised. Yeah, and so we give the diapers, we give the wipes, we do all that kind of stuff, and the things that we give away besides those little things are based on what people donate to us. So like when you have people who donate their bouncer or whatever that they don't need anymore, that's helpful. However, those the things that we do that help people also is like if you have a parent that needs, let's say, a crib or a bassinet or whatever, then they can come in and take classes. It's not like a group, it's like a one-on-one session. Okay. And they earn money for those, and we don't give them the money, but they say, I want this bassinet right here, and then we purchase it for them and get that.
Brand new?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, so there's no reason.
So there's some like an investment there.
Yes.
There's some investment there on them. It's not just a...
It's an earn while you learn type program. They're learning things, but they're earning, points to translate that into, baby items.
Let me ask you something about that right there, because I'm on the same page with you, but I want to just hear from you, your perspective on it. When you have somebody that comes in and they are in need, and they say, hey, I need a baby bed, and you look back at them and you say, fantastic, let's walk with you through this class, this course, this counseling session, and at the end of that, you can choose the baby bed or whatever, however that works. Do you feel like that gives them a sense of dignity and respect, or do you see that they're kind of like, I don't really like that, like that they're kind of repulsed by that?
Most of the people are very receptive to it because they find themselves in a difficult spot and they have nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
And so this is one thing. And we often, honestly, do not do a lot of baby beds. We do a lot of pack and plays because, you know, a lot of these people are kind of transient, you know, and going from mom's house to whatever, and we just found that pack and plays work better, you know. So, and they're a lot more reasonable too, you know.
Yeah, they are a lot more reasonable.
But yeah, when they feel like it's their money, and we tell them, I tell them, this is your money. You can spend it however you want as long as it's for your child.
Yeah.
If you want it to go on a smash cake on the first birthday, that's your business, because that's something that we take for granted, you know, but they want to be able to do those things and celebrate too, you know. No, it's not as practical as diapers, but it's important, you know.
There's something special about being able to celebrate those milestones and stuff.
Absolutely. So we get things that are donated and we give those away. But then if they need something, then a car seat, whatever, then they can take classes and earn that.
Very cool.
So yeah.
You know, Jessica Downs, obviously with our church the other day, you know, we started something that people can give towards like helping people buy Christmas presents to our community. And one of the things she said in front of our church, I don't know if she heard this somewhere or if she just came up with it, but I was like, wow, that's really good. She says that most people need a hand, they don't want a handout. Or she said it was some variation of something like that. And I find that to be relatively true.
Very much.
And it does give people dignity. So I love that y'all do that. You got a little buy-in, come do the courses, come do the counseling, and hey, now you have the hand that you need. Very cool. Okay, so that's some ways that they're helping during this process financially and with stuff like that. So I'm a listener to this podcast. I'm driving down Highway 69 going to Tyler because I'm thinking to myself, you know what, it's the Christmas season and I'm feeling giving right now. And so I'm listening to Rhonda Edwards. How can people help living alternatives? Like, what are all the ways, or maybe like the three primary ways that people can help living alternatives complete their mission here in Jacksonville and Cherokee County?
Okay. I think one, I know men don't do a lot of shopping, you know. If you do, it's not going to be something that a baby needs, you know. Not, like it doesn't need a fishing pole in the fishing department or whatever.
I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm with you.
But, you know, like when women are shopping and they see even food that's, you know, buy one, get one free. Or if they see, you know, I mean, just anything, a shirt that's only $1 now, it's on clearance. I mean, pick it up for us, you know, those kinds of things. I mean, even like Bath and Body, you know, has little coupons where you can buy have a free item for $16.95 and less. And, you know, just things like that, that if you have that coupon, and most women do, instead of keeping it for yourself, you know, think about, you know, somebody that would need something like that, and it would just make their day. I mean, I hate to be you know, brand type thingy, but you know, there's something about Bath and Body or a nicer brand of toiletry items that just make a woman feel special. I mean, it just does, you know. So things like that. And then if people like to garage sale, we have somebody in our church that likes to do garage sales, and she'll come across something every once in a while, and she'll bring it to us, you know, whether it's a furniture item, you know, like a bouncer or a extra saucer or something like that, or maybe it's sleepers or something, you know. So things like that. And then, you know, I was just thinking, I know a lot of people, a lot of young couples especially, don't have a lot of money just to give. And I just thought, you know, a challenge would just be, you know, if you go out to eat, then everybody maybe just doesn't get, you know, a soft drink. Just do water once in a while and use that money, you know, to
let's explore that just a little bit more. If you got a family of 5, this is good. See, this is the kind of stuff that we want with this particular week of our generosity series, because we're trying to establish some best practices. If you don't buy a soft drink the next time you go to Chili's or wherever, whatever the place is, and you got a family of 5, that's what, 15 bucks?
Yep.
Or maybe a range between 10 and 15 bucks.
And if you did that once a month, and by the end of the year, I mean, and just sticking that money, we have little bottles, baby bottles that people stick money in and they give it, you know.
I love that.
Yeah.
But that's one of those things that like we got to hone in on as Christians, is just like the very simple practical things, because here's the deal about like a soda, right? It's not healthy for you. You can get them a whole heck of a lot cheaper anywhere else.
Right.
And so if you were to just say, hey, what would we have spent on the soda here at this dinner? Let me take that $10 bill or that $15. Let me put it in my pocket. And at the end of the month, whatever I have in my little jar over here that I would have saved, let's go give it to Living Alternatives. Let's go give it to one of these other organizations. That is a great idea. I like that.
Just little practical things, because I know just writing out a check, not writing out a check because y'all don't do that, doing those kinds of things,
Well, we had to pay the water bill,
Go. When you do those kind of things, it feels, sometimes it's kind of like, But and I think that's a neat way to get your kids on board too, to say, hey, I know this is a sacrifice, but we're going to do this.
We're drinking water tonight so a little baby can get diapers.
Exactly.
I love that. That's a great idea.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. And you can take that same principle and apply it to any number of things. That's really good. I'm glad that you said that. Yeah. Okay, so people can give. It sounds like in two ways. There's the cash financial way of just coming in. This is not, so like it would just be like a check to Living Alternatives, and then y'all have a budget, a structure, a board, and all that stuff.
But if they want to bookmark it and say, we would really like this to go toward X, we can do that too.
Let me ask you, if there's somebody who is skeptical listening right now, and they're just skeptical of 501c3. Are y'all a 501c3?
Yes,
okay.
we are.
And they're just skeptical of 501c3s. And by the way, I get that, because there are plenty of nonprofits who have abused their nonprofit status. And somebody's like, well, if I'm going to give to them, I want to be able to have some level of accountability. Do y'all kind of have an open book policy or things like that? Okay,
absolutely,
cool.
absolutely.
Yeah. So that's a really healthy thing.
Yes.
So you can give just through strictly the financial means. You can also give through the shopping means. When you see that great deal, when you see that, what are some of the things like the bassinet, the
extra saucer.
Yeah.
I mean, it could even be, small things, because a lot of times Walmart and other stores always have these clearance things, and you see these shirts for $1. Well, just pick up one in the size up to a 5T, and you've only spent $1. And
shop the sales.
There you go. Yeah,
I'm gonna be checking that next time I go to Walmart. I'm gonna be like, man, look at that. That might fit a little 2-year-old right there. Let's go.
That's right. Even like the baby bath. Baby towels, baby washcloths. Anything that a baby can use, we can in turn give that to somebody. And let me just say this: something that's really nice is like, we look at those items to meet needs, but another thing is they kind of are like bait, so that if you're not, I won't say concerned about somebody specifically, but let's just say that you get this extra saucer, okay?
Yeah.
And that's a prime item. Everybody loves them.
Okay. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, you do. It's the thing that you put them in, and they can spin around and they bounce up and down.
Oh,
okay,
yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, okay.
So
I know that's
if
what
you
that was
get
called.
one,
We call it the bouncy thing.
Okay.
There you go.
But then the bouncer just kind of does that thing, and so it's kind of like, okay.
I'm with you now.
Okay. Then let's just say that you're thinking of 6-month-old children that would enjoy that. Then you can call a few moms, and when you get a hold of one, you can say, hey, would you be interested in da-da-da-da, then they'll say yes, and you can come in. Well, they may not have been in 6 or 7 months, okay? And you really want to know how they're doing. Is the mom okay? Does she have postpartum depression?
That's a real thing.
How are things going with them? And so when you can call them and bring them in, that kind of serves as a bait to get them in, because you might call them and try to talk to them, and they're just, but the minute that you could offer them something substantial, especially
because there's not because you're not doing a bait and switch thing here.
No. We're just trying to offer them something to come in, and we can see how you're doing.
You're doing what Jesus did when he fed the 5,000, when he met people's physical needs and stuff like that.
But if you're going to not hang up, but if you're going to not just give us even 30 seconds of your time any other time, but this time you will, because you need this, then when they get there, we can find out,
How are things going?
How are things going? And in that, you don't just find out about the mom, but we have found out that people are totally misusing formula. They're totally messing up on their feeding their baby. Just lots of little things. And we just have to gently say, okay, I know, that's kind of what you're used to, but you might really think about this, and try as gently as we can, try to help them to steer a different way.
I think that's the model of Jesus. I mean, I think what you're saying, I don't know if anybody would be like, oh, how dare they, try to like lure people in, but and I don't think it's like a lure necessarily, but it's just like, what did Jesus do while he was here on this earth? He went around meeting people's physical needs, but his primary focus was the emotional, the spiritual, the heart, right?
Right.
And when you guys are like saying, hey, we have this opportunity to meet your physical need, your want, or whatever it may be.
Right.
Because I think about this is going to sound insane, but I think if we are like brutally honest and brutally logical, this might make sense. You have somebody who is blind 2,000 years ago that Jesus was going around healing. Do they like? If they are 45 years old and they've been blind for the last 15 years and they're making it, do they need to be healed of their blindness? Not necessarily, right? But they really want that. They want that, and they feel like it's a felt need. And there's going to be some people like, no, Coby, you're an idiot. I'm just saying. I'm using some, some probably more radical logic than I need to. But it's like, hey, like if you've been there for 15 years and you're making it, then like, hey, you've kind of figured it out. But that doesn't. But you still want to see people. You want to see the sunset, the sunrise, and all the good stuff. And I think that like Jesus went around meeting felt needs so he could get to the real needs.
Right.
I love that. I love the strategy there because I think that it's an effective strategy that we as Christians ought to employ. Okay, well, that really kind of gives me all the info. So, listeners, Central Baptist Church folks in particular, Jacksonville people, Cherokee County people, Living Alternatives. Rhonda Edwards, you are what's your title again? Director? Yeah, you're the director, so you can give in one of two ways, either just straight cash check. This is a 501c3 with open books, with a good budget, with a board that oversees all this stuff. Or you can shop the sales. I like that one. I like the shopping the sales. I'm telling you, I'm going to be on the lookout now.
Or just donating things that you already have that you no longer need.
One of our projects, so each week during this series, we have an exercise and then a reach exercise. And one of the reach exercises for this week was to go through some areas from some space in our life, like a physical space in our life, put everything before us, essentially ask God, hey, God, do I need this? And if the answer is no, to get rid of it. And so I wonder how many of our children, if we were to do that exercise in their bedroom, if we were to do that exercise in our closet that, has, or our attic,
right.
how much good that could do to one of these women or one of these couples in our community that they just, at this point in time, they just need a hand.
And even food too, because, like I know Hope and other food pantries, they only can do so much. And unfortunately, they're not open every single day, the food pantry. So if somebody's out of food on Monday, they got to wait till Thursday.
Right.
So like just even picking up a perishable item to where they can, bring that up. I mean, we don't need a whole store or anything, but I'm just saying.
But y'all have the opportunity to help provide.
Oh my gosh, yes. Because, people will grab, rice or whatever, and those, what do you call those? Ramen
noodles.
I'm like, those are so bad for you. But, people will.
People will eat them.
They will eat them.
People will take down some ramen noodles.
Yes, they will. So, yeah.
Well.
But anyway, thank you.
Yeah, no, Rhonda, we really appreciate you swinging by, being a part of the podcast. And,
I appreciate being able to talk about what we love to do. So.
Yeah, very good. All right, folks, so you've heard it. Living Alternatives, great place to plug in, great place to be generous. If you need any further information, I'm sure you can reach out to Rhonda. All y'all stuff is online.
Yes.
So with that being said, we'll talk to you later.